Hey there again, YouTube. What's good? Hope you've been having a pretty decent week, right? Uh, all things considered, it's uh, it's good to be alive, right? It's good to be here. So today I just wanted to do a quick update, maybe tell you a little bit about my day, what's been going on my side of the pond. So it's been raining a lot. It's been kind of the drought see the a drafty, very drafty season out here in Portugal where I live, and well, I was kind of homestuck, kind of grounded for the whole day, and just doing chores, and working on my projects, silently, quietly chipping away. Um, at the things that I want to like complete, finish, conclude before next year rolls around. So, um, fingers crossed, I manage to uh, I don't know, just get it all done in time. Meet my self-imposed, very unreasonable deadlines. And apart from that, I did watch a movie. I'm kind of a movie sort of, I don't know, buff, junkie, whatever you want to call it. I love movies. Can't get enough of them. I kind of ebb and flow. I sometimes watch them more, and other times I watch less of them. Um, so I guess it depends on my mood. But today I watched this movie uh, titled "Planes, Trains, and Automobiles." Uh, that's starring Steve Martin and John Candy, the late and great. So I remember really enjoying a lot of John Candy and Steve Martin movies growing up. So it's always kind of like a comfort thing to go back and enjoy these classics. I didn't really ever get the chance to watch uh, this last one. And when I say last one, it's like the one that I picked, right? Um, I'm gonna do a short summary of the movie. Maybe I can manage, maybe not. If I can keep it short and sweet, let's see. Um, so basically, Steve Martin, like it's the holiday season, and Steve Martin's got to go out to see his family. He's like a big time like businessman, and I guess he's the type that's always, you know, here and there. Um, he's just like a busybody, right? And then he comes like he sort of randomly, I guess he runs into John Candy when he's trying to he misses his flight. He I guess it starts with him missing his cab, and then he uh, subsequently misses his flight, and it's like a series of misses, I guess. And that's the main premise of the movie. It's just like him getting caught up in shenanigans with John Candy, and I guess it's pretty entertaining. Most people wouldn't care much for this movie. The jokes. I don't know that the jokes have aged that well. Um, there's like this uh, sequence of them sleeping in the same bed, and it gets kind of um, I don't know, like you could say homoerotic between them, and intentionally. It's like nowadays I don't know how funny people would find that, but whatever. There's this really good scene that's right after, it's the following scene of Steve Martin just going off on John Candy about him being such a pain, does nothing right. He rues the day he ever uh, got involved. And like John Candy's reaction is so wholesome. He's like, "Oh, well, say what you will, but my wife likes me. I like me. So you can say whatever you want. You know, won't make a difference. Won't change a thing." And that's kind of a highlight in the movie, I guess. Um, the rest of the movie is just like them going from one set piece to the next, and just things going awry, but things kind of work out in the end, thankfully. And speaking of endings, um, I was feeling pretty indifferent, about the whole movie. It was like, oh yeah, it's an okay movie to spend just to pass the time, but it's the kind of movie I maybe wouldn't think much of, like by the time next week rolls around. Apart from the fact that like riffing off my last video, there's a running theme of missing trains and planes and such. But then the ending comes around and it hits pretty hard. The movie sort of reveals it's that it's got heart. It's a very tender moment of Steve Martin reaching out to this stranger, that he met, and just the bond that can be formed between the two people, two strangers, just for the mere fact that they were like that they survived, or that they got through all these, I don't know how to explain, but these sort of inconvenient and comfortable, difficult situations, that they made it through. And then this movie does the thing that I wish all movies did more consistently, which is like ending on a banger, or with the bang on a banger. I don't know. It's like they pick just the right song, hits you right in the feels. They play the song every time you go away. I kind of, have a soft spot for kind of mellow, schmaltzy 80s music. So right up my alley, and that put me in a mighty good mood. So it's funny because sometimes you put on a movie just to pass the time, just to turn off your brain, and you're not expecting much, and then it kind of you're giving it the chance to catch you off guard, because it might have something important, that just to communicate, and when it clicks, you're just sort of blindsided by that, and you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. So I had this little moment where I was like, I almost jerked a tear to this, you know ridiculous silly movie. And it just made me think, wow, if this were made today, yeah, it's the obvious thing to say, not very original of me to say this, but if this were made today, it wouldn't have had that ending because it maybe wouldn't resonate. It's too saccharine or something, for a modern audience, they wouldn't get it, or even if they did, it's not a marketable type of movie anymore, right? So it's a product of its time, and I wish I was a product of that time as well. I wish get me on the next train to the 80s where they're all tucking in their pants, their shirts in their pants, and wearing a cool cat like Casio's having, like they're like at their, it doesn't, no matter whatever. I'm just saying that things were at their heyday, at their, you I would have caught everything in its prime, its zenith. And yeah, the 80s all through the 90s, that's where I mean, I know we got plenty of great things today, and you know, we got things to be thankful for. But it's not the same, It's like, I guess just the things that I would care about would be a little more like abundant during that sort of period of time. So, well, that's besides the point. Um, I just wanted to say something I think is pretty important. And what that is I'm at the a kind of a crossroads in my life, and it's very awkward time for me. And I already said it's not really my. I'm not the type to make these, videos, and I don't like to like ex- to expose. I don't like the exposure, um, because I make a fool of myself on camera, and I'm wearing this stupid whatever this is. But it's not for the clicks. I mean, I'm not trying to uh sort of aggrandize myself by saying this. It's but it's really not just for, I'm not like seeking attention or anything. That's not what this is at all. Even though I can definitely trick myself into thinking that that's what it is. It's not. I just want to keep in touch with myself. I'm at a time where I don't get that many opportunities to verbalize things, to be a social human being. So so I'm like drowning in social ineptitude. So as I drown deeper and deeper, I thought that a great way, apart from, good old journaling, would be to, you know, just start recording me, through this period, through this time of silence, through this time of not having much, a lot of the time not having much to say, or feeling like I don't have much to say. So I was just like pushing myself, forcing, kind of like whipping it out, getting it out of my system, because I do have, as it turns out, I do have things to say. and contribute. And I wanna I wanna try and not let myself, um, kind of fade out. Just like I wanna try and keep the fire going, kind of thing, stoking the fire a little bit, so that when the time comes, I'm not completely, um, you know, unprepared. Or, well, I guess I'm going off on a tangent. I'm rambling. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But I guess you get the point. It's also part of the reason why I don't edit. I'm also learning all of that stuff still, pretty early in the YouTube game, if you will. So I'm like, I got this tab open and it's like 30 days of Adobe Premiere, and the other one's like Photoshop, because it's a lot of time in my hands that I never thought unemployment would be like this. So, but yeah, just just trying to maybe simulate conversations. Remember that, remember speaking, remember talking, remember um, interacting. you know so that's what this is all about. And if you want to be, if you want to come along, you're more than welcome. Tag along. So uh yeah, no edits. Fuck the S. I said a bad word, but I don't, I'm not gonna be, cussing a whole lot, but fuck edits. That's for like bitches. So, um, anyway, I guess, I guess it's all downhill from here. So I'm gonna cut this one short. And you guys have a great rest of whatever it is out there, and hope to see you soon. Peace out.